country where I come from, the truth is an irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are them workers who confuse the call. Now by area, why no better? We are them workers who confuse the call. One guy's out here, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he needed to know see what I see so. Now your friend on a night come at them. Only papi obeka nice and yeah. So I want one bet you were too. Everybody was afraid. And until I ran to my cottage again, once my boy dumping one and I cheat. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say a man. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akukutro for nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow your man sa to me bia kakobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Hanya safwe mo ayini. Akukutro for you na dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachi se would your mouth pipinuma. Would your mind never shine my frafonsa? But who go tell the truth? TUC silence. Even journalists silence. So then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello once again and good evening to you all wherever you are. It's a pleasure to welcome you to our socio-political program, MyView. This evening once again, we come together after the New Year's festivities to share our views on certain pertinent issues. And wherever you are once again, you are please watching MyView show on today's Ghana News TV with me, Jerome, as your host. And let me equally remind you that we are also live on Twitter and switch via satellite on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all on today's Ghana News TV. Today's Ghana News TV. And you can equally follow us on Twitter and TikTok, and also as podcasts on Anchor FM. It is a joy once again to welcome you to another edition of MyView show. And this is a special edition that we're looking at rallying for Victory 2024, Ghana's Hope, the contribution of the diaspora in respect to the UK and Ireland chapter of the National Democratic Congress. They are heading to their chapter congress to elect their executives or the executive committee. How does that contribute to the success of the NDC come 2024? Your views, my views, and together we share the views of our guests this evening, and we will find out how best we will move on. Stay tuned. When I come back, I will introduce my guest this evening. Once again, you are most welcome.
Waiting there happy for Africa. Dusty old men holding on to power, leading the people to where? The grave? Wicked criminal leaders. See them a come, them coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? I see the people crying every day, yo. They want food, them can't find. I see the youth looking for a job, oh, everywhere, them can't find. Mr. President, him just barely food, oh. Him and his family, they no suffer, oh. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man know they suffer. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man they suffer. See them a come, they coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? Mr. President, why you dey lie so? Before election, you tell me you be angel. When you sick, you run go a London. When we sick, we die for Kolebo. Mr. President, why you wicked so? Tell me how you dey sleep at night, oh. See them a come, they coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? This is Mr. Traitor, Mr. President, Master of Sleeping, Mr. Sleepy. This is Mr. Traitor, Mr. President, Master of Sleeping, Mr. Sleepy. Yaram barayi fiafiwo alakpatowo na yeruya.
Welcome back once again to my View show, and it is my privilege to introduce our guest this evening. He is no other person but Mr. Conrad Dumbah. Conrad happens to be one of the aspirants to the UK and Ireland chapter chairmanship position, but he wears a lot of caps on his head. It's not just only this, and I will drift him into a little bit of the economy of the country, and then we'll come back to the UK and Ireland chapter issues. Mr. Dumbah, you're most welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my brother Jerome. It's a pleasure to be in your studios once again.
It's always a pleasure to have you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers are waiting to hear your fire on the economy of the country right now. But before we get to that point, I'm sure a lot of people want to know a bit about you. So could you just use a few minutes to introduce them so that they can settle down and then listen to your wisdom?
Thank you very much, Comrade Jerome Pan, and a good evening to all your cherished listeners and viewers. It's my pleasure to be in your midst this evening. My name is Conrad Dumbah. I'm the immediate past chairperson for the NDC Milton Keynes branch in the United Kingdom, the very first branch to be set up. Also the immediate past and, if you like, founding president for the Professionals Forum in the United Kingdom, the NDC Pro Forum. It was really tough getting it off the ground, a lot of resistance, a lot of challenges, but we managed to pull that off. Personally and privately, a man married with two beautiful kids, 5-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son, although they tend to behave in reverse age. Career-wise, I'm a chartered accountant and fellow of the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. I currently practice with Citibank, a top 10 global American bank. I have been an auditor for a large part of my life with PricewaterhouseCoopers for PwC, as we know, for the best part of a decade, and then with Barclays Bank, Santander, and now with Citibank. My passion is working for the people, and that's why I get into politics. A lot of my colleagues and peers ask me, why are you wasting your time going into politics? And I'm like, actually, I am living my life doing politics because it's about serving the people and not wasting my time. So in a brief summary, that is me. There are so many other things I do on the side. I'm a catechist, Catholic catechist on the side. It may sound ironic, but yes, I wear a number of hats and I try to juggle them all in one go.
That is wonderful. Then I was not wrong when I mentioned that at the beginning. We will look at the NDC as a whole, but the last time you appeared on the show, we were looking at how our economy was going down. We were looking at how the city was faring. Today, the president says we should clap hands for them because the city has stabilized. But though within the last few days, it seems to start depreciation. What could have caused this once again?
So thank you very much, Jerome. To the August listeners listening in. So when someone says something has stabilized, it means that it's moved from an erratic, or if you like, it's moving like a yo-yo and it's now pretty much stable. But the city is far from stable. One piece of evidence is this. I mean, one of the favorite money transfer tools that I use is a tool called TransferWise.
Wise.
They've cut themselves to call Wise. Anybody who wants, try to go there and send money, and you'll see a message there. You know, they themselves have said that the turbulence on the city, the erratic behavior of the city is so aggressive that they do not even want to deal in the city. So at the moment, and anytime, Jerome, feel free, go on their site. If those of you who use them for sending money, because they tend to send at almost interbank rates. So you get some of the best rates there, especially if you're sending large amounts. But they've stopped sending Ghana cedis. Why? Because the cedi is literally everywhere. You know, when you go to send money, they'll take your money at a particular rate, and they hope to be able to send it to Ghana whilst that rate is still plus or minus within a certain threshold. They take your money at, say, 13 cedis to the pound now, and before the money even hits your account, it's now up to 15 or it's down to 11. Now, of course, there's upside and downside risks. If you buy the cedi from them at 13, and then the cedi goes down to 11, they get an extra 2, so they benefit. But if suddenly you buy from them at 13, and by the time they credit the amount to your account, instantly, you suddenly see the cedi has gone to 15, they lose 2 cedis. Straight away, they themselves have done the risk and realized that this currency is not worth dealing in because it is quite erratic. It's everywhere. And the evidence is there. I mean, if you take your Google, go into Google and look for the cedi and just look for the last couple of days, whether it's euro you fancy or it's sterling that you fancy, just go looking for cedi to sterling and then look over the last 5 days. And Jerome, if you like, just Google it and you will have, when you Google sterling to Ghana cedi, you will have you will see the chart. I don't know if you can see. It's probably going to be very difficult for anybody to see, but if you do it on, you will see a currency that is literally jumping and flying up, down like that. That is not what you define as stability. You know, there are a number of things happening. The cedi generally seems to have a net positive, seems to be enjoying positively from it. We all know that inflation in the US was better than anticipated, and things in the US meant that the dollar was a bit subdued. And so when you see the cedi performing strongly against the dollar, it is not because of any strong underlying, if you like, fundamentals of the cedi. It is just a consequence of events out there. And so they will tell you, oh, now the cedi is down to 9. The next thing you go to check it is 12. The next thing you know, it's gone to 14. It's gone to 15. Then it's come back to 11. And I'm sure my viewers would have noticed this. If you like, just go and look at it. Over the last month alone, you see how the cedi keeps going. That cannot be down to the performance of the government. When a currency is actually appreciating, you see a steady incline. It's like a performance of a student in school. If you're a teacher and you have a student, today they get A+, the next day they get F, the next day is C, the next day is B, then back to F. That is not a sustainable performance. You will be asking, what's wrong? Same subject, you getting your grades are all over the place as if you are sliding on oil poured on the floor. That tells you that there's no stability there. At the end of the day, a couple of things happened that helped the cedi, and immediately they pared back. We all know that the cedi was under siege for a long while because of our serious debt problem, the debt overhang. Debt that we currently have at almost 521 billion Ghana cedis. Bear in mind, this is debt that President John Dramani Mahama passed on to this MPP government at 122 billion. So in the space of 6 years or so, they have hiked our debt from 120 billion to 520 billion, a whopping 400 billion in a short space of time. They literally have taken our debt to what you call 104.5% to debt GDP as of 31st December this year. What it means is that as Ghanaians, if we were to say, you know what, we don't want to owe anybody again, we will sell all our assets and pay all our debts. If we sell all our assets and they come to $100 or 100 euro or 100 pounds, our debt will be $104.5 or 4.5 euros or 104.5, whichever currency you take it. So even if we sell all our assets and pay our debts, we will still be short by 4.5 currency points to defer it. Now, this is from a point where President Mahama handed over to this incompetent government at 56% debt to GDP, which meant under President Mahama, if we had sold all our assets to pay our debts, we would have spent 56 cedis to pay those debts, and then we would have had a 44 cedi bonus. That is what you tend to call fiscal room. It meant that we had an extra 44 cedis for every, or 44 pesos for every cedi available to us. As we speak now, not only do we have zero available to us, we have a deficit of 4.5 cedis available to us. And now, seriously speaking, when you are in this position, nobody will want to buy you. If you were a person selling yourself out there and you are in negative territory, nobody will touch you. And that is the state of Ghana's currency, because our currency is a projection of our financial strength. And because our debt was so high, every single, in fact, 80% of all the revenue we were making was going into paying just interest, not even the actual debt itself. And so when you found that the cedi was under siege, it was because of that. Now, what then happened is we went to the IMF. Of course, President Mahama had been telling these gentlemen to go to the IMF. We all remember them saying that we will not go to the IMF with all fantastic biblical quotations about Caleb and Joshua going and two people coming back.
Oh my God. I'm sure my technical team will have to grade.
Yes, it sounds like I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I was just saying that, look, we remember all the biblical quotations Oporiata gave. I remember John Kuma standing on the floor of Parliament and saying, we will not go today, we will not go tomorrow. A few months or weeks later, they went there cap in hand begging. And our situation is so bad that we are going to the IMF to ask for more than 3 times the highest Ghana has ever asked for. The last time Ghana asked for an extended credit facility, for a policy credibility program, it was about $900 million under President Mahama. And that was put over a period of about 3 years. The MPP came and actually extended it. So they took the lion's share of that money. This time around, we're asking for 900 million, we're asking for 3 billion, more than 3 times that amount. And yet, as soon as, you see, when President Mahama told them to go to the IMF, there was a reason he said it. Because the moment you go to the IMF, the market starts to get some confidence that you will be physically disciplined. You will go by the rules. Because when the IMF gets hold of you, you go through their program. Before you get the money, they will make sure you do the work. You see, they will make sure you do the work. And you see, this is the thing. Sometimes the IMF is not even the money they give you. It's about the regime they put you through. And you know the way they will operate. They'll say, okay, fine. If you cut your debt by 20%, then we'll give you 2 million. Then you cut another 10%, we'll give you 5 million. So it's like you do something and they reward you. So as you are trying to get that money, you are actually bringing your debt down and down and down. And by the time you get the last dollar from them, even though it looks like it's free money, you have been able to discipline yourself and bring your debt to within the threshold that makes you sustainable. And that is what the program that we followed that allowed this government to come in and be able to more than quadruple our debt. Because if we hadn't taken those painful decisions from 2015 to 2016, when the MPP came, they would never have been able to borrow. My brother,
Conrad Dumbah, I think I will bring you back here on this show when you become the chapter chairman of the UK and Ireland chapter, and that will be part and parcel of the contribution of the chapter to rallying for victory 2024.
Absolutely.
But beyond this, what else would you add to the UK and Ireland chapter that would be a significant contribution to rallying for victory 2024?
I think there's a lot that I will bring to the table. My brother, I hope you can still hear me.
Okay, perfectly.
Yes, there's a lot I come to the table. And on the 13th of November, last year, see, we're still living in 2022, I was the first among the candidates that outlined my program of work, my plan, the vision that I believe that our good members would want to follow. And I took them through it. And I must say that if for anything at all, at the moment, my entry into this race is a resounding success. Why would I say so? 4 years ago, I happened to be the electoral committee chairperson for the electoral committee that ran the elections. And I witnessed how vicious, how negative, how disgraceful our campaign was. Many candidates were attacking each other left, right, and center, and nobody was focusing on what do we want to do with our chapter? Where do we want to go? And of course, you see, when you do not focus on policies, on ideas, on visions, and working about what you need to do to take your chapter to tomorrow, tomorrow will come and you are still stuck in yesterday and you will have problems. And so one of the key things, and I'll give you an example. One of my flagship programs was to get the UK and Ireland a permanent place of operation. Now, when I first mentioned it on the 13th of November on my manifesto, most of my brothers and co-contestants dismissed it as wishful thinking. It's not possible. What do you mean? But I said to them, I can do it. I'm a man of finance. Personally, most of us listening here, you either have a mortgage, or if you don't have a mortgage, your landlord has a mortgage that you are living in. We all follow financial prudence, and we know that owning your own place is often much better, particularly in the UK. I know in Germany, the model is slightly different. And so there was no reason why we couldn't do it. And ownership was not just for the joy of holding ownership bragging rights. No, it's a well thought out program that talked about, it was part of my whole idea of diversifying our funding sources as well. So on the one hand, have a permanent meeting place. And I'm not talking about offices because I'm not interested in white elephants. I'm talking about a venue that we pay thousands of pounds in venue fees every year. Thousands of pounds, I'm telling you. And so for me, the whole idea was to substitute that money that we pay away into money that then comes back in that allows us to be able to use it to run our operations as an alternative source of funding. And so to begin with, there are a couple of models on how we're going to get there. Now, the good news I was talking about, and I'll come to how we get there. A number of my brothers who said it was not possible. Some said, oh, it will expose us to legal challenges and all that stuff. Fortunately, by the time we had our first debate, a few also raised concerns on it, but then they went back and checked and came back and said, oh, in principle, we now agree that it can be done. And so for the first time, all the main contestants, all the contestants in this chairmanship race are agreed that we can move to get our own place. Whatever the model, however they want to do it, I came up with my idea of how I want to do it. The ideas are original. And I put what I was going to do. The how I hadn't put in, the how is now in. There was a reason I did that. But I'm glad that we have moved on to ideation, into visions about what we can do to strengthen this chapter, to enable it be the strong vehicle that goes to Ghana to support our brothers and sisters financially and aspirationally. So that was one of the main things. And there are many models that we can follow. There is an equity model. There is, if you like, a gradual acquisition model. And I can go into the technicalities, but I don't want to bore your listeners with this. Yeah. But I say it is possible. You know, personally, I do it. There are many of us in the NDC, UK and Ireland, in Germany and across the diaspora who do this. Why can't we aspire same for our great party? So that is one of the number one things. And I put that under building a chapter for the future. And when I say building a chapter for the future, I'm looking at the future where we are financially self-sufficient. We help to wean ourselves of membership dues. Now, one of the reasons I am keen, and that was weaning ourselves of membership dues in the long run, substituting alternative means of finances here, is because I want the party to grow, the chapter to grow. As a branch chairman, first as branch secretary from 2011 to 17, and then branch chairman from 2017 to November last year, many were the people that came forward and said, I'm a strong NDC member from Ghana, I want to join. And we're like, thank you very much. Here's your membership form, or send us your membership details via WhatsApp. They do it. I said, what else do I need to be a member? So we'll go and pay registration fees of £10. It used to be £30, now £10, and pay dues. And then 50% of them never came back. Why? Because in Ghana, nobody pays dues. And so for us, it is clear that that financial commitment can be an obstacle to people joining us. Now, if we can diversify our funding sources, apart from the benefits of getting your own place and the opportunities that come with it in terms of the sources of income that come. Because if I happen to, when I go to Mecca, if I'm privileged to go to Mecca and I come back and then I decide to celebrate it, I can get that venue and I'll hire it out. If I give birth and I want to celebrate my son's or my daughter's birth, I can go there. If I'm hosting a birthday anniversary, I can go there. So that brings in the income. Additionally, party paraphernalia, like what I'm wearing, this is from Ghana. I get them all the time from Ghana. And I keep asking myself, if we were to produce this, and by God, we can produce this here as a chapter, and we sell it in pounds to ourselves, we can make money. 5 or 6 years ago in Milton Keynes, when we had financial challenges, we did just that. We printed our own t-shirts, we sold it to each other at £50 a pop, and we raised enough money to bring ourselves back to a safe zone of operation. And we can do that. And I intend that as chapter, we will look at these strategic means of raising funds and allow the branches to operate on the dues that is coming. Because at the moment, the branches is where the life of the party is. They collect dues to run the branch. We go to them and say, give us 60%. So for every dollar, every euro, every pound you collect, we say to them, if you collect €1, give us 60 cents and keep 40 cents. What can they do with that? That is where they pay venue fees. That is where they run a lot of welfare events, because every member is a member of a branch. And so when you have a welfare incident, your branch leads. They are the ones doing the refreshment because they meet every month. And so for me, it's about ensuring that branches are empowered to keep more of their money. And then we, the chapter, can think strategic. We can operate strategic. We can engage in going to raise funds from alternative sources out of our usual zone. Because at the moment, anytime we want to raise funds, we go back to our long-suffering dues-paying members. So that is one of the pillars under my building a chapter for the future. And the third angle under my pillar one of building the chapter for the future is this. We want to target at least £100,000 to be raised to support 2024. And so to do that, first thing I intend, we will have a rolling fundraising program. It will be from some of our beneficiaries we've already contacted. We will ask our members. In fact, we will launch our campaign at least 18 months to the day we want to give the money to Accra. So that, my brother, if I pledge to pay €180 or £180, I can start paying £10 a month over that 18-month period. And so by the time we get there, it's ready. At the moment, we tend to wait till 3 to 4 months or 6 months to the day. Yeah. Then we all start running around like headless chicken. And by that time, if you have COVID or something else, wings are clipped. And so we can think about tomorrow and start working for tomorrow today. Because the fruits we will eat tomorrow, we must plant those seeds today. Mm-hmm. And so from building a chapter for the future, you can see the way it all comes together in terms of getting a venue. The venue must be cost neutral, and at the very least, it must be bringing in some returns. I'm an accountant by training, so I know how to count the beans. I'm not going to go and get an edifice that will become a white elephant, like that, the largest church or cathedral in the world in Côte d'Ivoire, that barely has anybody going in there to worship. I don't do things like that. Whatever we do, we must think about it has to be cost neutral and it has to be beneficial to us. And it has to be not just today, but tomorrow. In the long term, there are equity release models from that place that we can raise huge sums of money in a very safe way. And I keep repeating this, a very safe way that will not expose the party. Because clearly, I don't want to lose my license to practice as an accountant. And so I know the safe means by which we can do this. Now, you see, I am talking about raising funds building a chapter for the future, getting our own place, diversifying our sources of funding. One thing is missing here, and that brings me to my second pillar before I go into the actual boots on the ground. It's about financial prudence, transparency, and accountability. Where there is money, if there is no transparency, there is no accountability. Even when there is no wrongdoing, accusations will fly left, right, and center.
Yeah. And
I know that very well as a long-standing accountant and auditor. And so for me, from day one, a very robust financial regime will be put in place. We currently practice it in Milton Keynes. I mean, I handed over to my sister, Angela Domsuluma, who was the secretary and now the chairperson. Where in Milton Keynes, what we did was, we don't do cash. No. And so if something has to be procured, it is pre-approved, and an officer is allowed to go and procure it and bring receipts for reimbursement. And now this is the trick. We do pure online banking. We don't do checks. We don't do debit card, because everything has to go through our bank account so that the audit trail is there. Even when we take your cash in dues, you take your dues in cash, apologies, we will issue you a receipt and we will give it to one of the officers to put it into the account with your reference, so that we can always trace everything. And so when you have a model like this, you become automatically, we're introducing an expense and reimbursement regime. So you don't give me, I won't take cash from you and say, let me go and spend. Because when the moment you take cash out of an account, you yourself will even forget in 2 years. You will forget what it was that you used it for. And if by God you have lost the receipts, then you have a problem. But the moment you say, look, go spend it, bring the receipt, we'll transfer from the account to you with the reference there. And the evidence that you brought will be stored in our Google Drive location. We can wake you up anytime. You go into a bank statement, you can see the reference, oh, it was for this barbecue, or it was for this. And so that confidence in itself is there. And therefore, we don't waste our time arguing about who collected what and who did this. That is just, it's talk that we don't need now. We need to be focused on tomorrow. And so some of these basic operational things, we should get them done. I intend that every quarter, myself and my treasurer, unfortunately, by God, there are many accountants in this chapter. I've spoken to most of them, and they're all on board in terms of the plans that we have to get our own place in a financially safe manner. Equally, we will constitute a lot of these guys into an audit committee to support whoever is the internal auditor. We expect that every quarter, our chapter treasurer will come and say, for this quarter, this is how much money we made. This much in dues, this much in donations, this much in this. And this is what we spent. Venue fees, welfare days, and that will be presented at a quarterly chapter meeting. So all quarter, on a 3-monthly basis, every chapter executive knows what is happening. So there will be no accusation that, oh, the treasurer is hiding something, or this man has collected this and that. You see, transparency. There's a US Supreme Court judge that said, sunshine is the best remedy for any instances of actual or perceived corruption. Sometimes it's just perception. And for me as an auditor, I wouldn't accuse you of anything until I have evidence. But you see, it is sometimes the way we do things that expose us to unnecessary accusations and bickering here and there. Let me tell you something. Look, when you have a clean audit trail, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Don't panic. You can always go back and you'll find out if there is any instance of malpractice or otherwise. And so personally, I don't panic. I mean, we can go back 10 years ago and audit as long as we have our bank statements and everything goes through there. We should move away from cash. We're in a cashless society. We should not be going anywhere near cash, you know. And so as part, in addition to this quarterly rendering of accounts, on an annual basis, I intend, when we come to operational, you'll hear it as well, we will have an annual delegates conference. We'll invite the great guys from Germany, the great guys from the Netherlands, come join us. Like our sister Labour Party here, or SDP, and other great parties, CDU, CSU, and the like, they hold annual conferences where, among other things like sparking of ideas, discussing the future, we will present our annual audited accounts. We will present it. Of course, it will be a delegates conference with various branch executives coming there. So they will be privy to this. But we will be accountable in a very safe way. We are not going to go and publish our accounts on Facebook. No. But we do it in a manner that allows the branches to know what is happening at chapter. So that when we come to them and say, look, we are struggling, we need a pound, they will understand why. Jerome, the problem you have is, it's like you and your wife at home. Your wife doesn't know how much salary you take. Your wife doesn't know what financial commitments you are engaged in, whether you pay a car loan or your mortgage. She doesn't know. And the only thing she hears from you all the time is that there's no money. She's not going to trust you. But at least if you let them into the ins and the outs, what is happening at all stages? Because look, branch executives are the glue that keep this chapter moving forward. Without branches, there's no chapter. Sure. And so we need to carry all branch executives together. And I know the pain of being a branch executive. And when we do this, branches will focus on growing the numbers. And we will focus on supporting branches to grow the numbers. We have a bigger chapter. Bigger chapter means easier to raise funds. And so I will come to expansion. But the principle of having bigger numbers is this. If we want to raise 100 euro, and there are 100 of us, each of us will give 1 euro. Done. If there are only 2 of us, that's 50 euro. And by God, 50 euro is 50 times more difficult to give out than 1 euro. And so the numbers just should not just be for the joy of numbers, but for why are we doing this? Of course, each number we get, again, back to the number, if we have 100 people and we ask them to influence their relatives in Ghana to vote for the NDC, that's 100 families. If you have 2 people, that's 2 families. And so the economies of scale comes in. The economists are listening to me now. So everything we are doing and we are thinking about is for positioning this chapter to be stronger, more financially resilient, so that when we go to Ghana, we're not going to Ghana about complaints and all the things we tend to do now, but we're going there to hold our chest out and say, these are good practice where we live and work. We are bringing them home. Cool. When you go out and it is good, you bring home. My good brothers in Ashanti land will tell you, where you go out and it's good, bring it home. We don't go out, practice good, and then whenever we enter an NDC meeting, we put all the good practices aside and say, now let's do buga buga. That will not save us. That won't take us anywhere. And so for me, we have to change the way we do things or forever remain obsolete. We are struggling not because we don't have the efforts, but because we are not channeling those efforts into intelligent plans for the future that can take us forward. And so that is on the accountability front. Accounts will be audited fully, and I will start auditing myself. I will not be focused. I will not behave like the MPP. So let me audit my predecessor. If my predecessor needs to be audited, so be it. But whatever I do will be focused on myself. I tell you why. If you subject yourself to a good standard and to audit, it serves one as a deterrent. So whenever the devil is whispering in your ears, like Kufuor used to say, when that temptation, corruption is as old as Adam. When the devil is whispering in your ears to say, do something that is inappropriate, because you know that the mechanisms are there to keep you straight, you will not want to sacrifice your political future on the back of just petty stuff. But when those things are not there, your temptation will slide you away. And so we need to be strong, but we need to check. We trust, but we check. That should be the mantra. And that brings me down to the operational. We have talked about building a chapter for the future. We have talked about ensuring strong transparency, accountability regime to support all the funding we're raising for the chapter for the future. But how do we do it? My brother, if you have money and you don't have workers to do the job, the money won't build your house. Sure. You can't just throw your money up and say, build a house. You need the operational aspect. And this is where I talk about operational resilience. We have to be strong on the ground, whatever we do. And under that third pillar of operational resilience, the most important one, I would say, is taking the party to the branches. When I say take the party to the branches, this is what I mean. As the first branch in the UK, Milton Keynes, we have had the privilege of hosting chapter events over the years. And one thing I noticed, from 2011, we often struggled being the first. At that point, we're the only child, only branch. So it was really challenging and lonely. But anytime June 4th was held in Milton Keynes, and that was our traditional reserve, anytime it was held in Milton Keynes, members from London would troop in, members from across the country would troop in. And they bring their families who live in Milton Keynes to come and witness. And often after that, two things happened. The people they bring to witness join us. On top of that, we, those who used to think we were alone, we suddenly realized this thing is bigger than us. And so we kept on flourishing. It is that synergistic effect we are talking about. And so when I say take the chapter to the branches, what I mean is, why will I be holding a chapter event and then I'll go and hold it at a separate venue and host it there? I want that if we want to hold a chapter event, June 4th, we call the people in Ireland and say, Dublin, we are coming to you for June 4th. We want to come down in our numbers so that your members will know that they are not in this alone. Like Liverpool supporters, you will not walk alone. All the others will descend on you. You are the one hosting us today. When is the party anniversary? We'll go to Liverpool. When it is a women's program, we can go to Scotland. We can go to South London. We can go to, and so over a defined period, if we have 13 branches, I intend that over a 13-month period, every event we have a branch hosting it, so we can go there, so that they will know that we are all in this together. We will share in their pain. If we get there and there are only 5, we will know they are struggling. We don't need to sit in London and listen to them say, oh, things are not going well. Sometimes when you go there and you see it, it helps you to encourage your comrades to keep going. Politics can be a lonely business, but when the rally comes, you see the spirit of the rally. When people come, that's why it can ginger people to carry on. And so when I talk about taking the chapter to branches, I mean every branch will be given the opportunity to host a chapter event. And we will work strongly to ensure that we lobby our colleagues in Accra so that a lot of the dues being collected at branches, a larger portion stays in branches for branch operations. And I tell you sadly this because I've been a branch chairperson for a long time. When the branch is struggling, look, if you're a big branch, and by God, it takes a long time to turn that ship around. It's like a Russian tanker. It takes miles to turn around. If you're a big branch, you collect more money and you're generally okay. If you're a small branch, let's say you're a small branch with 20 members, we pay £5 dues a month. So the whole year, you have only collected something like £1,200. Then you are meeting 12 times a year. So if from January to December, let's even assume you skip December because of, we usually do Christmas party. You skip January. You are meeting 11 times a year. I mean, for us, our venue fees was about £96 a month. So assume that the average branch, and London is much more than that. So if the average branch paid £100 a month, 11 months, that's 1,100 gone. You've got only £100 left. Now with £100 left, when you go to meet, you have to buy water. People can't come and sit there testing. Refreshments. You don't even have money. So quickly, executives are dipping into their pockets to raise money for the branches to run. And then to add insult to injury, you get told that, oh, Accra says give 60% of that 1,200 you had upwards. And so we need to get to a model where we are supporting smaller branches to flourish and not necessarily sucking the lifeblood of finance out of them. But of course, we help them to grow, they become financially self-sufficient. We also find alternative sources of funding so that the chapter can thrive and branches, which are the lifeblood of the chapter, can also thrive. The other element is to let branches work. When I say let branches work, I mean non-interference in the working of branches. My job is to support branches. My job is not to go to a branch and tell them what to do. They are on the ground. They know what is happening. So when I go there and tell them you should do this, no, I should be listening to them. If they say they have a problem, I attend their meetings. And by God, for me, if the good people of the UK bless me to serve them, every single chapter executive must attend their branch meetings. Chapter executives will be ambassadors to their branches. So when we meet at chapter events, every chapter executive will give us a report of what happened at their branch meeting when they last attended. I don't have to be going to a branch chairperson to know what their problems are, because all of us are members of branches. So I should be attending Milton Keynes branches without fail. And if I can't, I should tell my members. And so we want to support branch executives to succeed. When we are on course, we have to work with them. We attend their meetings and we do not interfere in their work. When they welcome us into their abode to help, we help. Similarly, for chapter executives, each office must work. I shouldn't be doing the communication officer's job. That's not my job. If the communication officer says, Conrad, please, and fortunately, it was a communication officer that first sent me to your program, for which I'm glad. I've gone to other TV programs, other radio programs. That is his job. So being a chairman means I'm a chief slave. My job is a general merchant, going around and helping the women. If the women have a program, I help them. If the youth have a program, I help them. Liaison between here and Accra, I should be facilitating, not taking over. My job is to make others succeed. Because if communication succeed, and the youth succeed, and the women succeed, and the treasury succeeds, and the secretariat succeeds, we are all better off. We are all successful. It shouldn't be about me. It should be about our collective. And that's what I mean by every office will work. Now, as we work, you and I know, and I'm glad that you guys set up your station. A long time ago, the UK, we had a traditional radio station. It's since disappeared into thin air and the equipment are there. And I intend to support the communications outfit. And I'm already working with them. We need to get to a point where we will get our own online TV station at the very least to help you guys, help take the burden, the huge burden you guys. At the moment, all of us are coming onto your show. We love what you are doing. We will learn from you. We want to do a copy of that in the UK. If each country in the diaspora, each chapter in the diaspora can get a media house. You can imagine that you guys can run, if you run just even 2 or 3 days, the rest run 2 or 3 days, we will all be hitting where it hurts the MPP most. And they wouldn't see where it's coming from, because today is from Today Ghana News TV. Tomorrow is from Ejako Enterprise TV. Tomorrow is from UK TV. We have to all come together. And I think this is an aspiration that we should not shy away from. Again, fortunately, after I had announced this, most of my colleagues are now on board. That is the spirit of us all moving forward. I'm not going to say, oh, like we told the MPP that we put something and they go and copy. No, it is beautiful that when you see good ideas, you emulate them. And I pray whoever wins, I know the good Lord will bless me and the great people of the UK will bless me with that opportunity to serve. But the ideas that need to take us forward, we should all implement them and stop the yabbing about each other. This person did this and this person did that. This is not a contest of gossip queens. This is a contest about the ideas to take this chapter to the next level. And if we can all inspire ourselves to put our hands to the oar and apply ourselves to these ideas, we won't be where we are today, tomorrow. And so that is one of the great things that I'm thinking that we should do. There are many others that we can do, but in the event, I know time is fast spent. Look, one of the key things, and let me not sign off without saying this, I want us to recognize and appreciate ourselves. Nobody will do something under my service that I will not applaud or recognize them appropriately. Because that good feedback, it shouldn't always be that we say you didn't do this, you didn't do this. Sometimes telling somebody you've done this actually makes them better. And so for me, one of the things that I would do is, look, I'm not in this contest because I want to go to Ghana and get a position. I'm in to serve the people. And if you give me 4 years, you will see me serving you 4 years. I will lobby Accra to recognize the hardworking comrades in the UK. I'm talking about our great former leaders who are still here. We don't just go and tap their wisdom, but we should also allow that wisdom to be deployed in Ghana. I'm talking about former chairmen, former executives who are gems in their own right. If there's a list for appointments to go from the UK, they will be there first in order of how they served. So, for example, Chairman Kofi Kwachi's name will be there. Sam Kwe, as the most long-standing and long-suffering secretary for the UK, his name will be there. And God blesses me to serve. My brother, Chairman Balba, will be an ex-chairman, and his name will be there. I will fight. Whatever they did, whatever their legacies, whatever challenges they had, whatever they did not succeed, at least they had the experience. I will fight. My brother, Dr. Joe Ajiman, was a vice chairperson under Chairman Kofi Kwachi, is a current executive member, a long-standing servant of this chapter. I will fight for his name to be there. My brother, Chairman Aqua of Sheffield, the first chairperson for Sheffield brand, I will fight for his name to be there. These people will go whilst I serve. I will not mark my own way. Like in this country, no prime minister knights himself. When you are ex, then somebody will consider knighting you. You can recommend others to be knighted. That is what we need to do. Do your job, let the people appreciate you, and let somebody else recognize you. Don't put your name there first as the person to be appointed. That should not happen, not at all. And any of my executive that decides to leave their post and go to Ghana, of course, our standing orders are there. And that's one of the things I'll do. We'll dust it up. In those standing orders, we all fought in 2013 to ensure that any runaway executives will be given the opportunity to step aside. The job is here. If you want to go to Ghana, we'll support you fully, but we need to have somebody else doing your job. But to all my brothers, this fight is for the chapter. It is not a fight to say we win 2024, therefore whoever sits at the top will enjoy. No. Fight it clean. If you win, let's serve the party, whatever we can do, wherever we are called to serve, whether here or Ghana. If you don't win, I promise you, you will be on the list to Ghana. So this is not a desperate fight. This is not a do or die. What we need to do is to come together and put the party first, put the chapter first. Because if we can put this chapter first, Accra will call us. We won't put a list and send them. Alex served with distinction. He was called. He didn't jump and force himself in. Let us put chapter first at all times.
I'm pretty sure, Conrad Dumbah, if you need to take a bit of water and then we'll come back. And when we come back, we'll look at your relationship or your intention of how to relate your chapter with the other external chapters, because where we are now, if the external chapters do not speak with one voice, we definitely will not have any impact in our mother party. So I'll take the comments from our viewers, and when we come back, we'll look at those ones as well. Yeah, I think the very first one comes from Grace Talk. It says, yes, so who go say the truth? That is from Black Rasta's song. Who go say the truth? Hey, Cynthia Power, Taco Cynthia says, awesome. Well, Cynthia, we're very grateful that you have joined us this day. And we know one of these days you will join us fully. Kwame Richmond. Oh, Dr. Our everlasting Dr. Afarejan. He says, Dr. DJK all the way. We're very grateful, King Solomon, for joining us this evening. Brimpong says, greetings, comrades, watching you live from Portland. It seems it's very difficult to choose a chapter chairman for the UK and Ireland chapter. That one is very true. They have the men, and they are exhibiting those qualities. Also, K.O. Achian says, vote for Conrad Dumbah as NDC UK and Ireland chapter chairman. Yeah, also, I know definitely the viewers from UK and Ireland chapter will do as that needful. Kuntinana, watching you on YouTube from Poland. If I were to be in UK, I will vote for him. He is the best among them. Well, Conrad, you have one vote from outside, but we pray that this vote will be translated into a reality. Patience Daku, once again, watching you from Hamburg, Germany. Happy New Year. Very many happy returns, Patience. Also, Superior, you can see from the viewership on Facebook, Conrad is very popular among the contestants, watching from Barcelona, Spain. We are very grateful also for joining us once again. And Daku Cynthia is back. Cynthia Powell is back. Great plans, my brother. Conrad has a lot of great plans, and we pray that all will come into fruition. Grace Talks, our party slogan is accountability. Comrade, you are on course. Definitely. Nanata Fremu, you are live and clear on Sakina Information Center, Tatali Northern Region. We are very grateful for sending more of our conversation to the people of Tatali, and always we will certainly share in your joy as well. Maxwell Knight, good evening, General One. Thank you for the good work you are doing for our great party. God bless you. I wish my senior comrade all the best. Watching live from Mannheim. Comrade Knight, go and do your work. Oh, Comrade Alfred Kuyelo says, watching you live from Bielefeld. We are very grateful, Comrade, that you have joined us this evening. And we will continue to enjoy your support. Oh, King Solomon, once again, Kwame Richmond, watching live from Merbus, Germany. Oh, okay. I almost gave you to Düsseldorf, but no problem. Comrade Lujimila, once again. Oh, just full of laughter. I can see you are enjoying the show. Powerful Vice Chair Omar Dennis. Good evening, GS. Your guest seems to be on top of issues. He has good ideas that, if really put into practice, will push not only the UK and Ireland chapter forward, but the entire diaspora. Thank you very much, Vice Chair, for your comments this evening. Jama Hall says, boss, you are a winner. Francis from Hall. Oh, okay. Comrade. Oh, Adam. Adam says, the right man for the UK and Ireland chapter job. I think, yeah, okay. Adam, you're supposed to be in our team, and then we didn't find you, but we'll get you back on the show. Francis Chimesi Odum says, Conrad Dumbah stand tall among all the contestants. We're praying and we're hoping that come on the 14th of January, the results will definitely prove in that direction. So far, so good. And we're very privileged that we have one of the major contestants to the chairmanship position of the UK and Ireland chapter of the National Democratic Congress this evening, sharing his views and what he intends to do for the chapter to be able to propel it to support the rallying for Victory 2024, Ghana's Hope. Oh, I'm very grateful, Adam. I'm always available for you, sir. We will surely keep you on track. So we'll come back once again. Oh, Becky Stone. Auntie Becky, please share. Yes, everybody has to share. Auntie Becky will get you as well. very soon. I'll get in touch. All of you, we need to hear you here, and then we'll share our views on how to move the diaspora forward. So we'll come back with Conrad Dumbah once again, and then we'll look at how he intends to relate the UK and Ireland chapter to the rest of the diaspora. Conrad Dumbah, you're most welcome back.
Thank you very much, Jerome.
Almost all the viewers are giving you thumbs up, and for those who are within the UK and Ireland chapter, they've already assured you of their votes. You have votes outside the chapter, but unfortunately, it might not translate into the reality. But so far, so good. Now, I want to find out. If you look at it for the past years, the UK and Ireland chapter seems to have been doing a lot of things in common with the other diaspora chapters, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and the rest. But it seems that that cordial relation seems to have slipped off the system. How do you intend, as chapter chairman, to collaborate with the other external chapters to push the agenda of the diaspora forward?
Thank you very much, Comrade Jerome. And I think that your question is a very beautiful question. And actually, if you want to take it just beyond how we engage with the diaspora, fellow diaspora NDC, like Germany, Germany, Netherlands, and all the others. I want to even take it, how do we even go into the wider Ghanaian community in the diaspora as well?
Perfect.
And so I will start either way. I'll come back to the home one. One of the things I think is this: we need to be out there. And when I say we need to be out there, I mean this. Under my plans, we have a website that has been challenged. I would say that for nobody's fault. I'm not here about assigning blame. I'm about us going forward. I intend that we will activate it within a month and we will make it interactive. And I can tell you, one of the reasons why websites die out is because nobody's going there. We need to put that website under the realm of the communication so that when we come for these interviews, we have a team of writers under the communications team that write and put it there, and the link goes around. So even if the story is on Ghana Web, somebody can click on it and come back to our website. That will put throughput. More crucially, that website, we will use it. When I tell you that being an accountant, I'm always thinking about how to get something out of nothing. That website should also be bringing us income. How? We will create a link for Google Forms and embed it in the website. And so if anybody types NDC, we will be prepared to promote it to come to the top. They click on it, they see it. Oh, I want to be a member. You click on that link, it brings up the Google form. You fill it in, and if you select Milton Keynes, when you submit, it should go straight to the Milton Keynes Secretariat box. If you select Sheffield, it should go straight to the Sheffield Secretariat box. So that at least we are getting people, because there are many who go on our website, read and say, so how do I join? They don't know how to. We should be able to do this. No, we should be able to do that so that it becomes easy. And in terms of ease of operation, if I remember, I'll come to it later. Within the chapter, we shouldn't be emailing people's records around. It should be easy. Coordinate it into a Google form. So for example, Milton Keynes as an example, sharing records, detailed records with our current electoral committee. We have a Google Suite account. They have one. We created a folder. We dumped all our receipts, bank statements, detailed records, minutes that are relevant to the election, everything in there. And we gave them the link. Only they click on it, they'll go in. Most of you know this. We do this at work. Why will I be attaching huge files? They can go by email. I'll chop them, send them all around. And the more you share this kind of information around, the higher the risk of exposure, GDPR, and all that fun stuff. But once you do that, it makes it easier to coordinate. So the secretariat should be able to do something like this as easy. Secretariat has a central one, all branch secretariats feed into it. But that is for the internals. But back to that point. So once we have this website, anytime that member clicks in and it goes to the North London branch and they register, they'll pay registration fee, they'll pay dues. That is what I mean by saying we make money out of that website. At the moment, it's just having it for the joy of it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have our website as a curtain. No. We should have our website because it serves us and make it more relevant to us. And that reach out means that, look, we have a lot of NDC supporters. They don't want to be members for one good reason or the other. Some will say, you know what, I'm a professional. I don't want to embark in this. I've got this. I don't know. Let us have a database of NDC supporters, not members that we expect to pay dues.
Yeah.
People who will vote for us most people will come when we say you must be a member and pay dues, they walk away. We put them on an alternative register, especially with ROPA coming, so that we can engage with them. We just want your vote, because you can contribute to the NDC through two things: join the party and support us with your vote, with your human resources, and your money. Or you can be a supporter, simply vote for us, like in Ghana. 30% MPP, 30% NDC. The remaining 40% are people who can go either way. We want to get more of those people. They don't want to be labeled NDC, but they will vote for our ideas. We should have that database, particularly in the diaspora. And we would encourage our mother party in Ghana to equally have same, so that we can always reach out when we are doing phone banking. When you get to the point where, when I say calling, not banking, it's house to house, call to call. If you want to campaign, you call. That's what we do in the diaspora, right? If you have these supporters' contacts, you can call them and you can give them the good message. They don't have to be listening to it by TV. They should be able to have that interaction. So it's about reaching out to the large teeming majority of Ghanaians in the diaspora as well. Get them in. If they can be members, let's make them permanent supporters. Keep feeding them the information so that they know. Because one of the reasons we lost 2016 is because many people didn't know what we were doing. The bridges, the roads, the hospitals, the gas plants, Ichuabu, the extension of Terminal 3. It was when we lost, they were like, hang on, so you were doing this and you weren't telling us.
Yeah.
When you have these banks of registers of supporters and people who are interested and sympathizers of your cause, you can disseminate such information. Of course, I talked about annual delegates conference where we invite anybody. Let's share ideas about Mother Ghana, about our own development, but also about Mother Ghana. We shouldn't wait till it's 2024, then we start up a committee to come up with a manifesto and send the ideas to Ghana. We should start now, because a rolling stone gathers no moss. We don't wait till we have been surrounded by moss and then we want to wake ourselves up. And so there's a lot we want to do. We will tap into various expertise, whether you're NDC or not, we will use you. But back to your question, I have a record of reaching out to diasporans. When, as the founding president for the Professionals Forum, I reached out to some of our members across. You know the story there. Of course, Pro Forum had a lot of challenges. The more we tried to reach out to some countries, then we had this pushback. Look, for me, if you are not against us, you are for us. Whether you are Cadres Front, you are Pro Forum, you are market women for NDC, I should not be scared that somebody who loves the NDC wants to bring their talent and their resources. I should even be prepared to make way for them if the party succeeds. And so in the same vein, it is not about who is superior in the diaspora. Oh, in Europe, is it Germany? Is it Netherlands? Is it UK? No, we are all in this ship together. If we lose, nobody cares who is the most popular loser.
Sure.
It is better that we are all unknown winners than popular losers. And therefore, we must work together. And when I was a founding president for Pro Forum, I worked hard with our colleagues across the pond. I worked hard with many of you. I can't mention your names for one reason or the other. Sure. Even as branch chairman, I keep doing my bit. But it is not because of that I want people to vote for me. It is because it is a way we can get out of it. When you have networks, you grow faster. You know why? Because you have done it and you've learned the lessons. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to go and do it all over again. But as soon as I call Jerome and say, Jerome, you did that thing. How did you do it? What are the pitfalls? You tell me, you know what, keep left, don't go right. If you go right, you will fall into a gang of MPP people. So I know not to go right. I've learned from you and I move forward. And that is what we in the diaspora should do. And that is why when I heard of the European conference organized by our brothers in the Netherlands, I was excited about it. My heart sank when I found out it was postponed to February. I will be there. We should all be together, sparking off each other, keeping the warmth of comradeship together. The visions, if Germany is doing something that is great, let us not be ashamed to pick it up and do the same. We don't need to rediscover. We are not Diego da Zambuja going to discover Africa all over again. It is there already. And so this is where we have to have that network. At the chapter level, the relationships. And I know, in 2015, thereabouts, under Chairman Kofi Kwache, the likes of Kofi Adoli, and many others came to Berlin and worked with you guys. That is what we want to be doing, working with each other. I am not saying anybody is not doing it now or is not at a level. What I'm saying is our best days are ahead of us. And so as diaspora, if our comrades in Ghana see us working together and coming together. I don't see why there should be a challenge. I actually dream of the day where we can have a pan-European NDC and we decide to do something together. We all come together and say, you know what, collectively, we target €1 million or £1 million to support our party. Let us work together. Let us raise it. We go to Ghana and say, we, the European NDC, have done this. Not NDC UK, NDC Germany, NDC Netherlands. We need to come out of our silos. We need to think big and think about. Together, we are always bigger. As Osajifo said, our independence is meaningless unless it is linked to the total liberation of the African continent. And it is still true today. So let us stop being little statelets and chiefdoms. Let us find a way of working together, learning from each other. And I'm all for it. Anytime there's any European program anywhere, invite me, I will be there. Whether I am chairman or not. Perhaps if I lose, I will have more room and more time to tour and share and work with people. If I win, I will still have the challenge to come along and work with everybody. So this is a clarion call to all the great leaders and members of all the entire NDC in the European diaspora. Let us come together like the proverbial broom so that we can sweep this elephantic government out of power before it visits its worst on the people of Ghana.
I'm not sure of words, but I'll think about it and come again because your message is so powerful that the comments that are coming from viewers, I think I need to read them for you to hear. Let me start with Cynthia Pawin again. He says, you are simply great. And that follows by a comment from Conrad Malik Dramani Mahama. He says, great job, and keep it up, bro. Then Efo Richard. Efo, we are very grateful. Far away in Ghana, but you are always part and parcel of our program. Efo Richard says, he is the chairman for NDC Stuttgart. He says that GS, Conrad Dumbah, has said it all. In his intro alone qualifies him to lead the UK and Ireland chapter of the NDC. And I pray that it comes out into a reality. Volunteer Internship Service Ghana, that says that this man is very knowledgeable and can contribute meaningfully to the NDC. The delegates should honor him by voting for him. Watching from Bosusu Infantia Kwasaf in the eastern region of Ghana. Sorry. Oh, we are very grateful you have joined us all the way from the eastern region. Thank you for your comments. And that follows by Cynthia once again. Sidapawin is all the way joining us all the way from the US. He says, I absolutely agree with you, bro. Luigi Miller once again, our cutest Miller, he says, fantastic delivery. That one indeed. Maxwell comes by, says, Conrad Dumbah is full of wisdom. I wish him all the best. Francis, no, Jamal Hall, that is, I think, yeah, I've seen this one. Chairman, don't worry, you are an innovator. Yeah, he is an innovator, but we have to give him the mandate to be able to bring that into fruition. And I'm pretty sure all the comrades within the UK and Ireland chapter will listen to his message and do us that honest. So, Francis, Comrade Francis Chimesi Odium, once again, Conrad is fully pregnant with ideas to move the UK and Ireland chapter forward. We pray so that we are all inspired by his message. Comrade Umar Dennis once again says, marvelous and wow, simply wow. That is perfect. We are very grateful that you have joined us. Bennett Konaidu Yadom. Good evening, Comrade Jerome and Conrad. I must admit, Conrad Dumbah is just a genius. He's the right person for the top job. His understanding of how his position should function is absolutely incredible. Woo! I hope Conrad Dumbah will come and listen to all these comments, and that will put him up there. We are very happy that he has put his services available. He has stated very clear whether he wins or not, he will be available to do the work for the party. Party first and not an individual interest. I think I should take you off the UK and Ireland ladder and then bring you back to Ghana before we now run up.
I thought you were going to say you would take me to Germany. A couple of years ago, I used to come to Germany a lot, especially every February to September. and of course
Oh,
the
wow.
schnitzels, the bratwurst, you know, especially when you go to Plattling and those parts. I love pork. And so anytime I'm in Germany, it's like it's heaven. So I thought you were going to say you will bring me to Germany, but you
No,
have
we'll bring to Germany in October. We'll bring to Germany in October for now.
yes, the Oktoberfest.
Yeah, want you to, you have given your message, which is very clear to almost all our members in the UK Ireland chapter who are watching you this evening. And I'm pretty sure with their comments that are coming up, we pray that things will work out very well for us. Patience, this one here. We'll come back to your comments, Patience. We want to talk about just one more thing that will take us off, and then we'll relax the tension, and then we'll end it up. His Excellency the Vice President said, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. So today we agree that there are no even fundamentals. There are no fundamentals. But just I think about a few days ago, the Vice President was at a church to make a presentation of 50,000 for the running of a church in this present economy, in a system that a lot of people are running for cover. Was it just for a political show, or you think it was very expedient to have donated that money to a church?
Thank you very much, Comrade Jerome. First and foremost, personally, and this is the beauty of Ghana, all religions live together peacefully. I mean, I remember, I went to a minor seminary, and of course, I was meant, my parents thought I would be a priest, but God had plans for me.
But you missed it.
Yes, but I got my first copy of the Quran when I was in SS2, SS3, thereabouts. And I used to read it, and it will astound you to know that, we all aspire to one God, and for me, it's not, we worship God because we want to be able to serve man, because we're made in the image and likeness of God. And so whatever we do in our religious quest, whenever we go to any religious setting and we are thinking of, I'm doing this for God, you are actually doing it for man. So the good book says it, whatever you do unto your brothers, you do unto me. And so to that extent, I would celebrate the Vice President for going to give that donation. But the question is, unfortunately, the Vice President and MPP have a penchant for peddling in religion for political advantage. It is not healthy. There are two things you don't bring to politics. You don't bring religion into politics. You don't bring tribe into politics. We should be able to rise above those. If you want to bring religion to politics, let the values that you have learned from religion, honesty, sincerity, service to God and mankind, that is what you bring. You don't get a bag of money and walk into church and say, take this for the service of God, and that should bless you. That 50,000 pounds, even before he walked out, was less than half its own value. Why? Because inflation is 50%. The Vice President, as chairman of the economic management team, would have served the church better if he had left inflation at the 15% he inherited it from President Mahama, whom he claimed to be incompetent. Here we are with the people who are oozing with competence, over competence, if I may say so, that they take inflation from 15% and it's now at 50%. Which means that 50,000 is given them. That check better not put it into your bank account. Though. If they want, they should go and buy something like land or something that it appreciates in value. If they put it in bank account, bam, in a few months, it will be worth 25,000. By the end of next year, it will come down to 12,500 because 50% will be gone in a year. Another 50% of the remaining 25,000 in 2 years will be gone. It's down to 12,500. Give it 3 years, it's down to 6,000 what? 750. Give it another year, fourth year. So if they make a mistake and save that money for 5 years, they will have less than 3,000 pounds in their account because Bawumia has misconducted himself in how he should run the economy. He has messed our economy. Inflation is galloping. Cost of living is galloping. As for the cedi, they were looking for a dollar to change. They changed the Liberian dollar. That cedi is now, the US dollar was gone. They couldn't tell the difference. Maybe they look at the stars on the flag. They didn't remember that the US flag doesn't have one star like the Lone Star there. They just went for a star on the flag, and then they mistook Liberian dollar and flag. But a president, vice president, who is chairman of economic management team, his good news message should have been that we have tamed inflation to single digit. Like the NDC granted the longest uninterrupted period of single digit inflation in our history. The NDC did it. The NDC gave Ghana the largest GDP growth of over 14%. It was the highest in the world in 2011. That is how you serve the people. That is how you serve God. Not tokenism and going to give a bag of rice here, 50,000 Ghana here. What is 50,000 Ghana to the church? That's less than 5,000 pounds. Of what use is it? And as we know, even as he gave it and was going, the value went down with him as he was walking out. So the vice president should focus on the key things in the economy. Cost of living crisis. I know most of us, we bought food and drinks to share to our families and friends in Ghana. You go to buy a gallon of fried oil and the price has tripled. A bag of guinea fowl, I confirm. We like guinea fowl from where we are. Guinea fowls that a year ago we were buying for our in-laws. Today, guinea fowl is 85 cedi. If you're even looking for a sick guinea fowl, 85 cedi. You want a plump and juicy looking guinea fowl, you're looking at 90 cedi to 100 cedi. We were buying this for 35 cedi in 2021 December. So you can see what he has done. This vice president behaves like the Grinch that stole Christmas from Ghanaians. And instead of going quiet and let us nurse our wounds in peace, you come to church and give 50,000 and say, let's clap for you. That we didn't put you there to be donating state monies to churches. We put you there to turn around the economy so that they don't even need that donation in the first place. And that is the sad spectacle of this government, where, like my good brother Prosper Mayala used to say, the former regional communication officer for the Upper West region, that we traded our pregnant goat for a very stale billy goat. The guys are clueless. All the fundamentals of the economy are completely in the reverse direction. There is none that is in the right dish. Is it fuel? Fuel is going everywhere. When it's coming down because the global fuel prices are coming down, they will be applauding that they did the work. The moment global fuel prices start going up, and it's going up, they say Russia, Ukraine. So we have people who are not managing the economy. They are just commentators on the economy. It's like what do we call him? Is it Dan Kweku Yeboah? The commentators those days. They will say over to you, Joe Latte. That's what they are doing. This one will just watch. They are playing this. You are supposed to be on the field scoring the goals. They are there spectating, not even spectating. They are commenting on what is happening in the economy. And this is why we need to get ourselves together, work together. That never again should this sad spectacle be visited on our good people in Ghana. We must come together. We must work together. Make sure the best man wins wherever it is, so that we come together and help in the great rescue mission in Ghana. This is not the time for you to vote for Conrad because Conrad is your friend. If you vote for me because I'm your friend, when you know I'll be a disaster, you are actually not doing me any favors. Vote for the person you know will do the right job. And that is why, you see, many Ghanaians tune in to watch the NDC elections in Ghana than even to whatever Bahumia or Nanado did on their New Year message or whatever. Because the Ghanaians have all put their hopes in the NDC. I, as a matter of principle, did not publicly come out for any candidate because we want to be able to. Look, monkeys play by sizes. We are here. We had no business going there to create friction. If I go there and say I'm against this man and he wins, and I also win here, then I'll go and be looking in front of the man I said I'm against and say, you know what will we do? It will put me on the naughty step, and the chapter will suffer because of that. So I'm glad that many of us did not interfere. If you look, it's your right to choose who you want. But once you want to be a leader to serve, you can choose privately, and then whoever wins, you work with them in the interest of the country. And so, look, it is these days we don't even hear from Bawumia. We're all focused on building the NDC and taking him out. Whenever Bawumia surfaces from the pond he has immersed himself to, he will do something irrelevant and they'll put it on Daily Guide News. We should not be swayed. The more you analyze that, the more you even get insulted. Jerome, you could have contributed better than that. That 50,000, you share it and be going around. But you go in there and people are looking at you. After this 50,000 you're giving to my pastor, I'm going to buy a bag of rice at 3 times the price.
3 times the price.
Should I be clapping for you then?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Patience, Benye Poya is saying he's watching you from Germany here. Cynthia once again says, thanks for outlining the values of religion. Laila Mahama from Bielefeld says, good evening, watching you live from Germany, Bielefeld. Before I let you give your message to our people, to all those who are watching you from the UK and Ireland chapter, I think we need another occasion, like I said the last time, to come and discuss the economic situation of our mother Ghana and see what possibly could be done. Oh, Loretta says the man for the job, so articulate. Oh, my brother, you have made a mark. We are praying, come 14th of January. I think 14th of January, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All these comments will turn into the numbers because the numbers really matter. But your message is very clear. They should not vote for you because you are a friend. They shouldn't vote for you when they know you cannot perform. They should vote for somebody that will move the chapter forward. So, in a minute or two, Conrad Dumbah, I think you give your message to the good people of the UK and Ireland chapter and why it is very necessary that you are the best choice for the position.
Thank you, Comrade Jerome. And so to the very good people of the UK and Ireland, to the delegates watching this and those who will listen to it later, come Saturday, the 14th of January, 2023, we have an opportunity to bring into fruition the hope that we all desire. This is a year of hope. And in all things we do, we need to look forward. We need to focus on our vision and work at it. It won't be easy, but it will be possible. And that is why I have thrown my hat into this ring to serve you. And I'm saying to you, we can build a stronger chapter, a more resilient chapter, more financially stable, but very transparent, very accountable, and very operationally resilient. We will get opportunities and avenues to send our message out to Ghanaians through the media houses we set up. We will strengthen our own branches. So if you are worried about the state of your branch, I will work with you to make your branch great. Not make it great in Trump style, no, to do the hard work. Ensure that the members that work hard for this chapter are the members that will be rewarded when the time comes, are the members that we will rely on. And therefore, to every branch, and I say this even in my own branch, let us make sure that we have a credible electoral register. What it means is if I am in Milton Keynes and I shouldn't be on the register, none of my members should hesitate to draw the attention of my executive to the fact that I shouldn't be on it. Because eternal vigilance is the only remedy to having a clean election, where we go to vote for the people we know can take us to the next level. The people we know can deliver for this chapter and support the chapter to help our brothers and sisters in the NDC in Ghana to deliver Ghana from this bunch of Mareudun fraudsters. We should not sacrifice our principles on the altar of friendship or on the altar of tribe or of religion or indeed of anything when we go to the ballot box. There is one person who is focusing on the ideas. I believe that we should be ideating for the future, not fighting ourselves for the future. If you vote for me, you know I have that track record. I will work tirelessly to make sure this chapter is much, much more to write home about, to make sure that we build a strong, resilient chapter capable of supporting the NDC in Ghana come 2024. The victory of the NDC will lie in the vehicle with which we prosecute that electoral fight. If we take a one-ton chine, there, go man go. You guys know what I'm talking about. We will struggle. We want to build a Ferrari with the strongest horsepower to help Ghana take over from the MPP, to rescue Ghana. And so I'm on a rescue mission. Let us rescue ourselves in the UK first, and then we are in a position to support our comrades. And so my manifesto is out there. Version 2 is out there. Call me if you need to discuss anything. But remember one thing. It is about our forward march and not about any one person. Not about me. It is about you. It's about all of us. It's about our country and our party. Thank you very much, my great comrades, for listening to me. And I'm very confident that come the 14th of January 2023, you will invest that trust, that confidence in me to serve you as your humble servant for the next 4 years in the UK and Ireland chapter. Thank you very much, and God bless our collective endeavor. Good night.
Thank you very much, Conrad Dumbah. We're very privileged to have had you this evening. And taking the words from Cynthia Powin once again, he says, wishing you all the best. I pray you win. You are an asset to NDC. Comrade Malik Dramani Mahama comes back, but that I will just add, I will take it up for you. How will he make the party NDC more visible to the sympathizers? More visible so that sympathizers will find it easier to contact the secretariat from not just in UK. Well, that has been answered already, Comrade Dramani. Well, he has said that he's going to ensure that the website is more accessible, and from the website you can easily contact whichever branch you are interested or whichever city the branch is located. You can get through that, and you can get through the executives, and that will make things very easier for everybody, for both the sympathizers and for the party members. Unfortunately, I think your question came after he had answered that part during his presentation. But I think he stated it, and it will be on the website with option. Perfect. Cynthia, I have just reiterated it. And we are very grateful to all of you for joining us. And we pray for the success of your Congress come 14th January 2023. And then may the best candidate, as he rightly said, win the race. It is not about the individual affair. It is by the country Ghana. It's about the National Democratic Congress. And it's about the welfare of everybody. So go out there and then do what it takes to ensure that rallying for victory 2024 Ghana's hope. It is not just a mere slogan, but a reality to help us rescue the people of Ghana. Wherever you are, it is a pleasure once again, and I'm very privileged to have hosted you this evening. Join us again in the course of the week with another special edition with focus on the UK and Ireland chapter. Have a nice evening wherever you are. If it is good afternoon, good morning. Thank you for being part of us, and bye-bye for now.
As I said, we are all the winners. For those who were elected, we must be gracious in victory. And for those who have lost, let us understand that there's a lot of room under the umbrella for everybody. And as the General Secretary said, all the party might be saying is that we want you to serve in another role. General, I'm sorry. You've served as General Secretary for 17 years. And so, as the National Chairman said, the party might just be asking them to serve in other capacities.
Mampam, also on tea, so do go be no